Okay, so I think we're ready to work on this spine. Some of the things that I've gotten out, I did use some fabric scissors. I had some Christmas fabric that I absolutely love. It has this floral pattern. Now it was all wrinkly, and the best way to do it would be to iron it, but I'm not a huge person that irons, but I do have this handy dandy ribbon iron by Pebbles Inc. This is a super old or vintage tool, but the way it works is actually for ribbon. You put the ribbon in here. It kind of reminds me of a hair crimper from the 80s if you are with me on that era. Anyways, you put your ribbon through after it's plugged in and warmed up, and you simply pull, and it gets out all of the little wrinkles from the ribbon packaging. So if it's rounded from the spool or wrinkled from your drawer, this is actually really handy. So I use this to straighten my fabric as well. I just put in there, ran it across. Now, as a disclaimer, I don't know if you can use a hair crimper like this because this one is specifically designed for ribbon. So I don't know if it has like temperature control or whatnot, but it does still have some warnings on the back because it does get hot and it plugs in. So anyways, there's that. So I did use this, and our fabric is ready to go. I got out some Rickrack, some glittery ribbon. I kept my fabric scraps because I'm going to put these on some paper clips and they're going to be super cute. Now you'll notice I have two of everything because we're going to do down the spine like this, and then we'll have some left over up here. Now one side of this fabric has this cute little fray and I really like it. So I'm going to run it along the edge down here and try to keep that. And then up here, once we get closer, I will trim that off because it's a little longer. So this is what our spine turned out to look like. All stitched in there, all the signatures are in. So we are close to getting to the fun part, which is decorating the inside. We'll get this going. I'm gonna start at the bottom because, like I said, I really want to keep that frayed edge. Now, a book cradle would definitely be really handy when you're working on the spine. I think I'm just gonna glue in here. I've got my hot glue gun warming up. And I also have some clear tacky glue, or what would be like Fabri-Tac. So you can use whatever glue suits you best. Spray adhesive might be good. Not too sure what else to suggest, but I think this is going to be really pretty and add some great touches to my journal. So let's get gluing. I think I'm gonna do this end. Let's see, there we go. The glue is working. I'm gonna do this end with hot glue because I want it to stay. And then I think in the center, I'm gonna use some of that tacky glue and we'll see how it's holding. If you're using hot glue, obviously be careful because it's hot. But you'll want to press down, try not to get any of those bumps. You can use the edge of your scissors if it's too hot. Mine's not too terribly hot through the fabric. So now it's glued like this. And when we pour the tacky glue on here, you want to be aware of the holes that we punched because we don't want glue seeping down into the book. But I think we can do some just along in here, along these edges, and then maybe just run one line in there. And we'll press that down and see how it's holding. Now your fabric may get wet because this is a liquid glue, so just be warned about that. Push this down and pull it as tight as we can. And it could even get a little bit sticky. So far, it's doing okay. Turn this around and trim this off. Now, if I'm being full disclosure and honest, I did not measure this fabric. I just kind of sat it there and cut. Wasn't too worried that it was perfectly, exactly measured, because most of these edges are going to be covered. And the most important part is just this covering the spine. So get that nice and straight, pressed, and try and cut this down to size. Would definitely be easier with a book cradle, that's for sure. Try and get some of those frays. If you had pinking shears or some decorative scissors, that would be really cute. On the edges, some lace. I've got some pretty ribbon and some rickrack that we're gonna do. And then gonna do some eyelets in here, and we're gonna do some ribbon lacing across the spine as well. Okay, so on this side, you do want a little bit hanging over so that, you know, it stays nice. And we're gonna, like I said, cover this edge, but I do want to kind of trim it just a little bit. And this is all preferential. You can keep as much as you want or, you know, not, but I do suggest you have a little bit because then it just kind of rolls over here, and you can cover this with whatever suits you best. I'm going to be putting eyelets in here to do the lacing, and we'll do that next after we do this ribbon and rickrack. So I want to make sure I have enough room and I don't cover a lot of my image back here. So I'm happy with this. We can still see Christmas. Let's see what this side looks like. Ooh, this side's a lot shorter up there, but that's okay. I think it works. All right, so let's get some glue under that fabric on the front and back. Just glue this down. Like I said, this one is a lot longer, so maybe we'll cut some more of this off. And these little scraps that I'm cutting are perfect for decorating paper clips, so hang on to those. If you don't have, like maybe you're not a sewer, or you don't have any fabric, you can use remnants, you can use fat quarters that you can get at the fabric stores. You can use clothes if you have some kind of a shirt that maybe doesn't fit or has a stain or something like that. You can repurpose it for a junk journal. Okay. So there we have it. I really like this. See there, and we did with some hot glue. I think maybe I'll put a little bit of hot glue under up here too, just to make sure it's nice and glued and stays put. All right, so there's the front. Now I thought, I'm kind of a glittery person, and sometimes Christmas can be really glittery, so I thought I would trim this here, and then I'm going to put a rickrack over it. So the glitter isn't going to be too in your face, but it helps to hide this uneven edge and adds a little more support too. You don't have to use ribbon. Some people use like pom-pom trim or lace. Some people don't put any. You could use a strip of paper. These journals are so cool because you can really customize them and make them, you know, really personal to your preferences. I usually do my ribbon with hot glue. I find it just stays better for me that way. Very fast to dry, stays in place. Okay, so there's that so far, and then got this Rickrack I already cut out. Now the Rickrack, I'm trying to place it a little bit strategically because I was thinking the eyelets would hopefully go in the divots, but maybe not all of them. I don't know yet. And Rickrack is really cool. You can get it any fabric store usually. I usually watch for it in thrift stores, on clearance, garage sales, that kind of thing. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. It's a few more eyelets than I planned, but we'll see. Just gonna put a dot of hot glue first, and that will give me a second to get this in the right place here. Okay. Then we'll just keep gluing. Be like Dory, just keep gluing. A lot of times when I'm gluing ribbon or Rickrack, I'll hold the bottom up, and as I glue along, I still kind of guide from the bottom because that more easily helps me figure out where I wanted it to go. Helps to keep it a little straighter too. This glue. All right, put this. Now, if you live in a place that's very like hot or humid, hot glue might not be the best glue for you. I live in Washington, so it rains a lot here. Don't have to worry too much about that. Usually my glue sticks pretty good. But I do use a variety of glues, so definitely explore around and see what will work best for you. Okay, I think I like that. And then we'll do the back side. Now, if I do this right, we won't cover the S from this Christmas. Just let it go like that. My glue gun dries super fast, so don't have too much time. There we go. Okay, now notice this piece right here is really short and trying to curl, so we're just gonna add a little bit of some glue right there. And don't forget to make sure that the end is reinforced because the ends and the bottoms takes a lot of abuse. Pull all these extra strings out. Okay, next we'll do that rickrack. Look at that. That worked out just perfectly. The S is kind of in that divot. Okay. Okay, I knew that was going to happen. What did I do with the glue stick? There it is. I saw this review for a glue gun that has like a magazine and it holds 3 glue sticks all at a time, which would be really cool, but it was just too big for me, I think. All right. Okay, so this is all good. I think I really like how it turned out here. I might put some kind of lace or something along the edge up here. We'll just have to see. Whoops. There's some of those scraps. Got our strings all hanging down, but okay. And then I did have this guy I was thinking about putting up here. Might be a little overkill. I don't know. It's nice and flashy. We'll see about it. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and try to do the eyelets on these. And I think if I do it on this part, down here, I'll be able to cover it with a piece of paper on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to use that handy dandy crocodile tool again and get some eyelets, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are ready to go. I've got this kind of, the signatures are kind of flattened, and we're going to do 8 holes. This is a 3/16 punch. Again, this is not a necessary part, but I just think it's going to look really cool, so we're going to try it. Okay, so there's my 8 holes. And I want to set this crocodile to do the eyelets. So we are going to do this one on A. That is the top, which is this up here. So we need this one. I think that's A. And the bottom one needs to be on number 1. So just like this, I think. And I'll put these in here. So that did just poke a nice line down here, and we can cover this in the back. We'll use some pattern paper or some ribbon or something. We'll get creative. Okay, so let's see how that crimped to make sure we have the right setting. Oh yeah, that did beautifully. Okay, so now we'll just keep going along. And I did realize there is going to be one issue. It's going to be a little bit time consuming. The ribbon that I want to lace across the spine, I'm going to have to feed it underneath the signatures since I put them in already. But I think that's okay. Again, a lot of these steps are optional. You could easily decorate with some buttons instead of these eyelets. You could leave them off. But I'm a metal girl and really like to have metals on there. Okay, make sure that's all nice and set. 3 more on this side, and then we'll switch to the back. And you could actually just leave it like this with these eyelets. I think that's really pretty too. Kind of adds a really fun element to the cover. Okay, those look like they're nice and set. Switch back to the 3/16 punch. So again, on the inside in here, it doesn't look so pretty, but we'll cover that up. Oops, looks like I didn't set that one. That one's being really stubborn. All right, that sounds promising. Yes. How do we do this one? Okay, so that looks really nice too, but we're gonna keep going on the back here and do the lacing, because I think the lacing is gonna be really cool and fun. Famous last words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay, switch back to the 3/16 hole punch. And I really like having this Rickrack in here because it kind of gives you a place where to punch. Good little guideline. So I made 8 punches on both sides. So we needed 16 eyelets. And it's making little confetti dots from all of the punching. You can save these if you make shaker cards or need confetti. Okay. Now we'll set these eyelets and start lacing. I really like the looks of this. I hope the color is coming through on the camera as nicely as it is to look at here. And the Big Bite, this gadget that I'm using here, does have some feet. And maybe if I put the feet on it, it would work a little better. Oh, sorry, got my arm in the view there. That's great. Now this one, I'm not gonna lie, it does take a little bit to use this one. The original Crocodile is way easier to use, but it doesn't have the reach that this one has. Let's make sure those are set. I think that one I need to do again. Maybe if I tried standing up. Okay. All right, we're on the home stretch. Okay. And those all look like they are set, so that is great. All right, one extra eyelet. Guess I can't count so good. Okay, I'm gonna put these away and then we'll be back to do the lacing. Okay, so I have these gold ribbons that I got from some Christmas candies and I saved them and I think they're gonna be perfect. So the first thing I'm gonna do, it's got a little bit of a point which is gonna help me pull it through here. And then this is the challenging part because these signatures are in the way. So I'm going to try and get them behind. So if you just lightly lift them up, the ribbon comes through here. Okay, so I've got it pulled through here, and then I'm going to skip the top one and do this one and continue doing that all the way through. I kept enough at the top so I can tie a little bow. And as we go along, we want to try and keep this ribbon back here as flat as it can so it doesn't interfere with these signatures. Okay, so it is here. And then, so I did one, that's on the second one. We'll skip one here. And we'll put it back through here. hopefully this looks as cool as I think it's going to. This ribbon is a little wider than what I had envisioned, but we'll see what we can do. Make it work here. Okay, so this was easiest if we laid it flat. Try to keep the ribbon as straight as we can, like flat and straight. Let's do it one at a time. Pull it and feed it through. If you have tweezers, this might be a good job because you can more easily pull these through. And this ribbon edge is getting a little tired, which isn't a good sign because we got a few more to go. Okay, so that is what I want to be careful of, that bunching. I want to keep it nice and flat. This one through. Again, nice and flat. And we're gonna go to this one. So basically we're just skipping every other one. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're gonna have another ribbon. And we're gonna do the little crisscrosses with the other ribbon. So push this one through here. Make sure this goes nice and straight, like that. And back through the signatures again. All right, so you guys get the idea. I'm gonna put it on fast forward and you can just watch me lace the rest of them. All right, so the glue gun is warmed back up. So that's a little longer than what it needs to be. I'm just gonna trim that edge off there because the other ribbon's gonna overlap. And maybe we'll put like a little button or something down there. So I'm gonna make this go about halfway. And I just lost my glue stick. Good thing I don't have a cat in here right at the moment or they would take it. Okay. All right, we're good. Rescued the glue stick. Again, what I was saying is I think I want to make this kind of in the center. So I'll cut off this piece here. And then we can put a little button right there. Perfect. Now, if you don't have any of these tools like the crocodiles or whatever, you can just simply use a hole puncher, and you could even just, you know, do some ribbon around the ends. You don't have to do all of this. I just thought it would be fun to try, and I've been collecting tools over the years. So what I'm going to do now is I've been collecting these pop bottle tabs, and I have them in a variety of colors. I was just noticing I kind of really like this red one. I'm going to make a closure for the album. So I'm going to do an eyelet back here, put it in here, and then we'll attach it with a brad. But I was just noticing this one does not have a hole like this one does. I could do green, but I really like the red better. And since I do have a crocodile, one of the cool things it does is it punches through just about anything. So I'm going to make a hole right there. And actually we could even put an eyelet in there if we really wanted to. I don't know that I care too much. Okay, so we need to make a hole. Now, if you are a measurer, feel free to measure the exact distance from the top and the bottom and find the center. I'm gonna go down kind of in between here because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be easy to count on the other side. Just put this hole here. And then this is a 3/16 hole. We'll put our eyelet in and set it. 3/16 eyelet. Nice and set. A little bumpy on the back, but we'll cover that up. Okay, so now we need one on the back side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of in the middle here. Let's make sure that kind of lines up right there. Right there. Perfect. And these ones sit next to each other, so it is okay if it's not perfect. We will, however, run some ribbon through. This eyelet in there. And we'll set it. Now you can use a lot of things for your closures. You can use like those little skinny head wraps to go around this way. You can use sari silk. You can use ribbon. You can simply tie a ribbon around it. I thought it'd be fun to just try something different and use one of these. Thought it'd be really great in my junk journal, kind of give it a little something extra. We'll see if I still feel that way once I'm done. Let's see. On some little gold brads. Of course not. Looks like I have some red ones over here. All right, let me find some brads and some ribbon, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found a brad. We'll see if this is gonna work. I've never tried this before, but I punched a hole here so it's nice and open. Put this through there, and the brad actually fits perfectly. And put this through here. Flatten this brad out. Okay, I think I'm gonna put it down here and just try to squish it really good so that it stays in place. Maybe a bigger brad would hold it tighter. I might add some hot glue, we'll see. Maybe it won't matter. Okay, so this ribbon is just some sheer ribbon that I had, and I may need to get a bigger piece later. I don't know, because I like the books to get a little chunky. Okay, so this piece of ribbon, the only purpose is just to close the book. So I'm going to show you what it looks like with it in there. There's probably a million ways to add in this ribbon. You could tie a knot the ends of one of them. Put it through however you would like. I don't know if I like that pop tab or not. I'm gonna leave it for a little while, see if it grows on me. Okay. So then you just tie your little bow here, or even just a little knot, and you can leave it like that. All right, so there we have it, you guys. We've got a wheat thin box. It doesn't look like wheat thin box anymore. We've got our spine all decorated. Probably going to glue this bow so it stops moving, because that's going to drive me crazy. And yeah, we've got some nice decorations. We've got some eyelets. We've got a closure, and didn't take too much work. This crisscrossing was a little bit of a trouble because you had to push it underneath. This is a Cricut tool, if you were wondering what I was using to get it under there. It worked really great. This is a Cricut scraping vinyl tool. It helps get your images off the Cricut mat. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, if you could give it a big thumbs up, like, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment in the comments down below if you are making a junk journal, if you've done one of these crisscross spines before. Just let me know your thoughts and what you're working on, and I will see you guys in the next video.